You know, I gotta say that song is starting to grow on me. The more I listen to it, the more I watch, I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. All
I
right, all
love it.
right. Before I was like, it's a little on the hard, but you know what? It's growing on me. I like it. I dig it. Hey guys, happy 2024. David here with the Whiskey Rebellion, joined by my friends. Hope everyone had a great holiday. Welcome back. I know we're like 8 days late of saying Happy New Year's, but Happy New Year's to everybody. Um, so,
David, I'm
sir.
sorry, real quick. You say you have friends where?
Well, I see. Well, I can remove y'all. Then I'll just be here by myself. And by the way, did Jody just enter the chat?
Yeah, I know, right?
Fill in
He's
the role
watching
of
a game
Jody.
tonight, so he can't be here. But anyway, yeah. So I hope everyone had good holidays. I know there's been ups and downs for some of y'all, but all in all, I hope things have been good the last couple of weeks. I know it's been at least 2 weeks since we've been on together. I had good holiday. Here's a question to open up with. Y'all have heard of like the Barbieheimer thing where you're like supposed to see Oppenheimer. So I went this past Friday with my stepson, and we went out for ramen and then saw the new Godzilla movie, Godzilla -1. And it's like ramen and Godzilla. Like, what do you call that? Like, I don't know. So I've been trying to workshop like a theme thing to call that, but that was just a little thing spinning in my mind. Yeah, like
How
the
was
Kaiju
that?
Express or something. It was actually really good. The movie, it's a lot.
Good
It's
things on it.
thematically like what a Godzilla movie is really supposed to be about, not just the big monster, but like what it's a metaphor for. Like, and the whole, it was like very character driven about like what happened to like these like ex-Japanese soldiers turned civilian in like the ruins of Japan after the war, and then this fucking thing comes. And how do they deal with it? And their government's kind of abandoned them, and they've got to figure it out on their own. Like it was actually really good. It was really probably the best Godzilla movie I've seen. But anyway, other things to begin the new year. And this is what are you drinking tonight? I picked up a bottle of the Real McCoy. If I am understanding correctly, this is a Foursquare product. This is the 12-year. It's really good, but it is like, if you don't like vanilla, give it a pass, because it is like super vanilla-y. Like it is very not potent, but it is a strong note. Just a little bit of pepper right on the front, but overall like super easy to drink. I will fuck up this bottle if I'm not careful. So I'm just gonna have one tonight probably. But that's what I'm drinking. Oh, in my new glass that I got as a Christmas present. Let's see if I can bring this up here where y'all can read it. It says, "Well, look who it is. The feelings I was trying to avoid." Because as one drinks, the feelings come out. Anyway, so that's me. What are you gentlemen drinking? Rob,
so
what you got going on?
I'm cracking. I didn't crack anything I bought towards the end of the year, but this one I just picked up happened to be at the Pennsylvania State Store, and Remus released this. It's a 6-year aged. It's their highest rye, which I'm thinking, that I didn't see the bottle doesn't have the breakdown on the mash bill, but
gotcha.
But it's a high rye bourbon, and I'm telling you what, there is a flavor in here that a note that I haven't been able to place yet. But I mean, it's got a lot of the typical, some vanilla, a lot of good oaky flavors. Mm. There's a little bright apple, maybe like a Granny Smith green apple kind of a thing going on. Mm-hmm. But there's something that I haven't quite been able. It's a unique flavor, and I haven't put my finger on it yet. And eventually, I will. Probably about 2:00 this morning when I'm not sleeping, and I'm going. That's what that flavor was, and I'll put it in the VIP.
Nice. Okay, well, we'll be looking forward to that. Yeah, you don't always get all the notes on first blush, because even just tasting this again, I'm like, what else is in here, But anyway, I won't go on about that. Gino, sir, what you drinking tonight? You're muted, sir.
Muto.
El muto.
Yep.
There you go.
Wife poked her head around the corner here, was telling me what was going on. But what I'm enjoying tonight is Penelope Valencia.
Ooh. I know. It's sitting back
here. That's a pretty bottle.
Absolutely.
That is gorgeous.
Absolutely delicious. I picked this up just before Christmas, right before I went on vacation for the holidays, and been waiting to open it, finding the right time to open it. Finally opened it up tonight, and better than what I expected it to be. I mean,
Nice.
on the nose, it's like you get that orange rind smell, like a freshly zested orange rind, and then once you sip it, the first thing that hit to me, I don't know, Rob, you might recognize that flavor, is Stewart's orange cream soda.
Oh, oh.
Right off.
I know that. I love Stewart's orange cream soda.
That's the first thing that hit the front of my palate was that, and then it followed up with some French vanilla, just creaminess, and then a nice mild finish with a little bit of white pepper on the finish. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous stuff. This is delicious stuff. If you can find it, pick it up.
Oh, no.
Now
It's worth
it's
the
making
money.
me want to crack one. It's sitting back here.
What'd you get for it, if you don't mind my asking?
Partner, it was too long ago to remember, but I think it was right around about $75.
Gotcha.
I paid $79.99 for mine, Don,
Yeah.
and
This was 50, by the way. So, and worth it at 50, absolutely. So.
Oh yeah, this is worth every penny on this one. I mean, if you
a
see
12-year at 50,
It
it's absolutely worth it.
Nice.
Absolutely worth it.
Yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Billy.
Yes, Billy, sir.
I've been taking it easy. Got a family member's not doing so well, so haven't been partaking too much. And tonight I'm just having beer. The holidays was good. It was busy, getting the restaurant and everything, trying to get everything set up. When I tell you, man, I haven't seen the back of my eyelids since late October. I really mean it. It's like 3-4 hours of sleep at night max. Everybody wants to cook. Nobody wants to cook. Everybody wants somebody else to cook for them. And I mean, it was. When I tell you it was nonstop, fellas, it was nonstop. So dealing with that. But listen, nevertheless, just grateful for another day. Grateful for health. Grateful to be back on the show to see you guys. I shall not make my mouth to complain about anything. Sometimes in life you have ups and downs, and you just try to deal with them the best you can.
It's good perspective, man. Yep. I was gonna throw in there, like being good to yourself, like take care of yourself as part of that. All right.
Hey, listen, right. It's a.
That means you need a little more time seeing the back of your eyelids. I'm just.
I do. And I'm not gonna push myself to the point to where I'm in the hospital again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's say no more getting back in the hospital again, bro.
Yeah. So I got 2 days planned. So starting this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are going to be doing barbecue at a local fair here in South Florida. So as soon as that's over, I'm taking some days off.
Good. I hope you do, man. And I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the end of the season for me. And as far as getting everything set up with the restaurant and the facility, I'm just taking everything day by day, piece by piece. I'm not rushing to get anything out. It's costing me. It's not really making me any money at this point, but I'm not even worried about that. It's manageable enough where I don't have to sweat it too much.
Okay.
So. But yeah, other than that, man, just taking it easy. Like I said, just taking it light as far as what I'm getting into as far as something to drink. But after this weekend, yeah, I'll definitely I'm probably gonna crack open that Lever's fork. It's been staring me in the face for over a year now.
Delicious pour.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going right for that. That's on my target list right now.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, all right. Nice. So, any, I guess I kind of told you at least one story from over the holidays. Anybody have any fun goings-ons kinds of recap thing? Everyone just chilled and got to not work for a couple of days, I guess.
No,
that's kind of the big thing.
I did take a significant amount of time off.
Good.
It was, I did a big thing the 22nd for 500. Got my place cleaned up, and I didn't step foot back into the place until this past Monday. Or no, not this past Wednesday. I went back last Wednesday. So
very nice.
Took a decent chunk of time off. I spent 5 days in bed.
Nice.
Don't know what I had. It wasn't. I didn't have the vid, but I was. After Christmas, I was down, and it was all a muscle and stomach thing. Man, it sucked. It was horrible.
Rough.
But I had
you get some time off, and you got sick. Okay.
Yeah, it happens. Sorry, but man. As long as I didn't have to work, it was okay. If I had to work with that, that would have truly sucked.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because something has to grab us around the ankles to put us down on the bed for us to slow down. That's how we are as men. We're like that. If it's a little cough, a little sneeze, we just keep on trucking. Literally, it's got to be something to tackle us around the ankles to make us sit our asses down.
And I got to say, it's not just men either, because I got to give props to Jen, because she's been sick as a dog basically for the last 3 weeks, and she was so damn sick yesterday that she actually didn't even get out of bed, and that's like, you were like super sick if you're not up and doing stuff. And here today, the very next day, she cooked me dinner, and then she headed out to go drive for Uber because while she's in school, she's not really working full time during it's her part of her graduate studies or whatever, but she can't really do both. It doesn't have the schedule allowed, but like she's already back out, and I'm like, what? We don't need the extra $100 that badly. Like, like you can stay home a little bit, but she won't let herself. So she's one of the boys when it comes to working. But anyway, I just want to give her props real quick. But I hear what you're saying. Like, you have to be like all the way flat on your back in order to slow down sometimes. So I'm trying not to get there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just I was very fortunate to keep busy. I don't ever take that kind of thing for granted. It takes a certain amount of stupidity to step out on your own, along with some courage. And when that ball gets rolling, only thing you want for it to do is to keep rolling. I don't know what I would do if I had to go back to work for somebody else. I don't even know if I could figure it out. My mentality and my attitude is, and listen, I'm not knocking anybody who works a regular job, because really and truthfully, it's probably better
stress wise, but like
from a stress standpoint, from what you truly pay yourself standpoint.
Yeah.
No, work for somebody else, hit the clock, do your 8 and hit the gate.
I hear that.
Jennifer's
here. She's at not to interrupt you with basically unfortunate. I guess Jennifer, you probably missed the first part of that conversation, but Billy, if you want to answer to that.
So he's being moved to hospice. At this point, Jennifer is just about acceptance of the situation. It sucks. But I don't ever want to make it seem like I'm, cool with this or nothing. But the math, you're not supposed to bury your kids. Your kids are supposed to bury you. Yeah,
for real.
So it's one of those things where you try to look at it. Tough dude, good life, great to his family. Did everything he could, and I will say this about old people. Old people ain't scared of shit. They're not. They're more accepting it than anybody else. They do not, excuse my language, they do not give a fuck. When you get to that age, you're like, what? I did everything I could. What else is there to do?
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear that. But
yeah. Everything I say is just, thankful for the business. Keeping healthy, been alive. Everybody's good for the most part. Got some good things planned for 2024. Like I said, I'm gonna open up the spot a full year ahead of schedule.
That's impressive.
It. Yeah, that's really it. I haven't done much in the way of going after some bottles. I guess I really haven't had the time. really, and I don't know why, but even my local store, she hasn't had anything to really write home about. I don't know if it just hasn't trickled its way down here yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been waiting for a phone call for some of the Penelopes, and no, nothing yet. So, I guess going a little bit into the topic tonight, that's probably a couple of the bottles that I will be going after. I'm waiting for the lights to go out at Rob's house so I can sneak in and bottles off the shelf.
Hey, like you said, about 2 a.m., man.
Look at him.
Just be calling in there once he's passed
you
out
got him.
finally.
That's it. I'm just waiting for the snowstorm to come.
Yeah.
I would have go out for a couple hours. That's it.
So you away with that at Ross, but don't try that at Jody's house. All right.
Jody will be with
That dude to be waiting.
Oh man, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try to get my game up a little bit more on some of the Penelope stuff. And the other reason I'm not going after too many bottles, I really need to go through some of the stuff I have. Do some bottle kills like Rob did the other day. So once I do that, then I'll start seeing if I can cherry pick some different bottles around town.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Between being sick and sitting down on my lounge chair, I was able to knock off I'll bet the poor recycle guy on tomorrow is just he's
They're gonna leave you a nasty note. You need help, sir.
Some AA pamphlets.
A little card for like where the local AA meetings.
Yeah, that is called an addiction, sir.
The sound of glass when that can gets dumped tomorrow morning is going to be quite loud.
Don't you feel somewhat accomplished though? Isn't it weird? Like if you clear out a couple of bottles, even just a couple of bottles from your shelf, you're like, yeah, now I got room for something better. Like I was actually rifling through because this made me think of it. I found this old bottle, the Black and Tan. I remember.
Oh,
yes.
But that's been around for a while, and I'm like,
I still got mine too.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's okay, but like it's never a thing that I deliberately reach for.
I love that bottle. I think I killed that bottle in that bottle did not last me 2 weeks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
there was just something about the palate. I'm never quite expecting it to taste the way it does. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but I'm like, it was like unique. One of these, that I keep looking at and I go, not tonight. So I brought it up here to be like,
I think I almost caught an assault charge on that bottle.
Went hard on it, huh? Okay.
Yeah. A couple of bottles that never seems to last me, and that's one of the reasons I've been really trying not to get into it, is the Lever's Fork.
Mm-hmm.
The Heaven Hill. Eagle Rare is always a problem.
For sure.
Jesus.
Dude,
and
go ahead.
I know once I get my hands on some of them Penelopes, it's gonna be a problem. The toasted that I got, I literally put it in the lower shelf behind everything else, like some wine, so I just won't see it because I'd be tempted to go in on it.
Yeah,
I need to build up to some stock on it.
I feel that. I was gonna say one of my holiday food. Not really like a bottle find, but I found a local place, the local establishment that I can visit that has, get this, $12 pours of both Eagle Rare and Blanton's. And I was like, really? Like no one's. I was like, because I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, just for a laugh, how much is a pour at Blanton's? And the lady was like, oh, you'd be surprised, but it's only $12. I'm like, yep, let's go. I just went back and forth.
12?
12.
Wow.
1, 2.
That's impressive.
And you notice I didn't say the name of the place out loud.
That's
I won't be fucking up my spot. All right. I'll tell you guys, if you ever come up here, we'll go. But a
local place by me that was bought out by the guy who owns my cigar shop. Really good dude. Just has a lot of stupid money, and I looked at him and his wife, and they're like, "Hey, we're buying the bottle shop next door." I'm like,
Is that so?
Are you guys stupid? Why do you want to get into the restaurant business? But he's actually he's got himself a bunch of really good bourbons. So he has Weller's, he has the Weller Special Reserve. He had some Eagle Rare. He won in the state lottery for the establishment. He got a bottle of the Blanton Gold. That one, I think it was $149 in Pennsylvania, was what they sold it at retail for.
Okay.
But I said, so how much you want for a pour of that? And he told me the price, and I'm like, yeah, I priced it because I just want it to sit there. I really want I just want to have the bottle there. I'm not really looking to sell it. I mean, take that.
It's a conversation piece. Okay.
That Blanton that you had, David, times 4.
Jeez.
For a pour of gold.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, I'm not doing
for
that.
an ounce and a half, dude. I know how much the bottle costs you, and you get a 7% discount in PA.
Yeah, well,
But
you're the one who knows, and the average, schmo walking off the street, they're not going to know that, and they may know what the bottle is and how highly sought after it is.
But his Eagle Rare,
You're not going to know what the value of it is. Yeah,
$12 or $13 a shot for an Eagle Rare and the Weller Special Reserve. I'm like, oh, I get that. I'm down with it. You can pour me that all day.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
And I'm not against anybody as a business owner making money. I just don't see the need to
I totally agree.
overdo it. I'm not saying don't make a profit. Of course, make a profit. Absolutely. I mean, I'll put it out here. I mean, listen, I get $1 for an ounce of sauce. It's $12 a bottle.
Yeah.
So I know by any measurement, I am the most expensive barbecue sauce on the market for sure.
But people buy the shit out of it, Billy, because they love it.
Absolutely. So I don't listen. I'm not gonna knock anybody else's hustle. I just feel like be fair.
Yeah.
Be fair.
I dig that.
Like so, for instance, I'm charging $25 for a full rack of ribs. I'm talking about full St. Louis ribs.
St. Louis? I was going to ask what style of cut.
Yeah, rib tips and everything else. There's a place here that charges $45 for a half rack. For a half rack.
45?
They charge $45 for a half. Yes. Mission Barbecue, which is like maybe 15 minutes from me.
Yeah, we got those up here too.
They charge, I think on their ribs, they charge you by the bones, and you can buy it like 3 bones and up. By the bone, Rob.
Jeez.
So you and I both know.
I know how much a rack of. I know how much 3 to 3.5 pound St. Louis style cut ribs cost me that I could go get from U.S. Foods on my order on Thursday, and that is
wow.
Yeah, and so for me, I feel like I couldn't fix my head or my heart to do that. I did a car show a couple of weeks back. I sold them $25. I was sold out in 2 hours.
Yeah, I bet you were. If your competition's selling it for $20 more.
But my whole thing is this: I want you to have a fair price.
Yeah. When
you can feed your family on. I didn't care. I sold out. I was happy. I made my money.
Good.
So
yeah,
awesome. I'm not against anybody.
I think Jennifer's excited, by the way, by all this rib talk. I mean, you got me thinking. I just ate it, but I'm like, you know what? That just sounds damn good.
You're talking about charging
room for ribs.
Yeah, right.
$65 for
a rack.
No, that's you're going overboard. You're going overboard. I got a bottle of Blanton's Gold that I was fortunate enough to get my hands on at a really good price. And if somebody comes to the house if you guys came to my house and say, hey, I want to try Blanton's Gold, it's already open. Me and the wife drink out of it. If somebody's a real connoisseur, I'm going to pour you a pour of it, So Yeah, I just think you gotta ease up sometimes. But I think sometimes when people know who their consumers are, they know who their consumers are. Rolls Royce and Ferrari and Lambo, they charge what they charge because their buyers can afford their prices.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rolls Royce do
Yeah.
not go out to tell you the dealership customers. They just don't.
No.
You know,
How it is.
in the vein of not sounding political, there are some points you got to look at people, and it hurts. And Billy, you kind of get this probably more than the other guys when you know the cost of something,
Yes.
and you just look at it going, dude, that's just stupid. That's just 45 for a half a rack of something that is I could get for under $3 a pound.
Absolutely.
It's just stupid price.
And that's when like over the holidays, I ran into a couple of families who was having some issues with food, you know? And I can't stand for that kind of nonsense. So, I didn't tell them what I paid for because that wasn't the price. That wasn't the point. But I can get you 40 pounds of chicken for $20.
It's a lot of damn chicken.
For $20.
For $20.
If you walk into any grocery store and you walked over to the meat thing, I guarantee you pick up 2 packs and you're already at $20, if not over.
Yep.
So when I buy stuff that I'm going to resell, which is basically everything, but there's times when I just feel like, you know what, I don't need to go that far, And for me, part of me has to be able to sleep with myself at night. I'm like, okay, this is a family in need. I can't even charge you anything, but I know what I'm getting and what I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
If I tell you I spent $100, it wasn't even that, and they probably have food for the next month.
Yeah. So for those of you that are interested, Michigan is up 14-3 right now.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my phone. It's gonna be a blowout.
I think this.
Who are we going for? That's they're not the ones that are winning.
Yeah, not the ones that are winning.
I was like the sports ball. I don't care, but who's going to be pissed off the most? That's what
Michigan fans will be. They'll be whining for weeks now.
Yeah.
So if Michigan loses, it'll be.
Listen, they're worse than Alabama fans.
I'll go there. Yep.
So, all right, guys.
It's you. What you're looking for the holiday? What you think you're going to be looking for? Things you're going to be. What do you? I mean, is there anything new that you got? I think I know we're going to talk about what we're looking for 2024. But is there something that you got over the holidays that you haven't cracked yet that you're like, yeah, I want to crack that shit now? Outside of the Valencia.
Right there. That right there. There was a few other models, and they're escaping my mind right now that I picked up. It was new to me. Oh, the Stellum. Finally was able to find the Stellum Black Label, and under $100 for me. It was actually $75 at a store that I frequent there at Deep Creek Lake, and so I saw the price. I grabbed the last bottle that was there. It went home with me.
Love that Stellum.
Enjoy that. It was it was worth the wait.
And Gino, one other thing. Listen, congratulations on the weight loss journey, brother. You are doing quite well.
Hey,
man. Seriously.
I'm flirting with 85 right now. I'm not there solidly, but every now and then I get to that point, and then pound or so. It all depends, but I'm right there at that point. But still pushing it. I'm up at 3:30 every damn morning. I'm on that machine there behind us, sweating my butt off and portion controls and eating clean.
Yeah, and you eat well too. By the way, I don't know if people.
That's the way to do it. It's not about dropping 3-4 pounds every week. It's supposed to be a real gradual thing.
It is. since the real journey started last February, and I'm down just about 85 pounds. This morning when I weighed in, I'm at 84 and a quarter. Gone.
Nice.
Since last February.
Congratulations, brother.
It's like I said, it's eating clean, and you guys see my posts. Everything
Absolutely.
that I cook now, I cook. I know exactly what goes into it. And what I tell people is like, if you see it advertised on TV, it's not good for you. So I know exactly what is going into my food now. And that's one of the biggest things. The other thing is like, don't be misled by my pictures. My pictures are taken at angles to make it look like there's a hell of a lot more there than what there really is. My portion size is the size of my fist. So that's one of the things too. Once you get down to that point, that's the thing. I haven't changed what I eat. I still eat what I want.
Looks like good.
I've moved it more protein forward versus the carbohydrate thing. Carbohydrates lower on the scale. I did not cut them out. I still enjoy my carbs. Did some Amish friendship bread the other night that we love here. I still bake my own breads and things like that, which is delicious. But yeah. It's just changing to that kind of a lifestyle. And I'm loving it. It's like if I don't do these things, my day is shot.
I hear you.
I'm out of rhythm. But yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad it's such a routine for you now. And you look good. You seem healthy and enjoying life. You still get to drink, you still get to smoke, you still get to eat
drink. I smoke a cigar on occasion. I have not had cigarettes in over a year and a half now.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, so.
So is it
Mark says he's in a damn meeting.
Oh, okay.
Well, Mark's always in a damn meeting. Or
so, Gino, is it anything in particular you're trying to get your hands on that you haven't found yet?
Not really. It's just there's so much that I'm looking for. It's like Rob talked about that Remus that he had tonight. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the one I seen Chuck talk about. That I need to find that bottle, and it's just one of those things. I mean, they're in and out of my mind, but they're still stored back there. And when I see it, it's like, that's it. As far as goal stuff is, I would like to get another Blood Oath. I'd like to get the Blood Oath when it drops this year. I missed Blood Oath last year. Had the one from the year before. I got Blood Oath 8. I think it's 8. I don't remember. But
I've got 6, 7, 8 back there.
Yeah. And I'm looking for that actively when that drops. I really want to find that again. But nothing really hot and heavy that I've got to find. It's more of like opportunity. When I see it, it's like, oh yeah, I need some of that.
Okay.
The one I want to get, and I know Chuck picked up a few bottles, is the new Penelope American Light. That's the one that I've got to actively start searching for. Outside of that, anymore when I go into a store, it's okay. What is there something that looks interesting, or that I've read about, or that I've heard about that I want to try? There's nothing specific that I'll be in the hunt for, so to speak, other than the Penelope American Light, because I need to add it to that collection back there.
Let me ask you guys: are you guys putting any limits on what you're willing to spend for 2024, like per bottle? Are you thinking, do I need to raise my limits, or do I need to lower my limits? Or are you kind of just where you were been the last couple of years?
I'm pretty much at the same spot. It depends what it is and what the price is and what I feel it's worth. It's like the Blood Oath. I'm going to spend a little bit of money on Blood Oath. If it's something that I've never tried before and the price, I don't think I'm going to drop that, because I can get this over here a few times over versus this. I shop very cost conscious, not as much as Dave does, but I watch where,
because I got to.
I watch where my money goes as far as the bourbon thing.
No, I get it, man.
No, listen.
No.
I think I'm in the same boat, especially now putting a restaurant together. So the first time I did it all out of my own pocket, and I see no reason not to do it the same this way. So literally, like every week, I buy a piece of equipment, because if it
is that
shits the
working
bed-
at scale?
well, here's the thing. One, I've never been a fan of loans. I understand in life everybody has one for whatever reason that you're doing, but since the restaurant business is so prone to failure, the interest rates on them is ridiculous. When I tell you they're ridiculous, I think if you told the bank you're building a space shuttle, you would get a better rate than you would if you told them you're opening a restaurant. Because
there's a lot of truth there.
No, I believe that 100%.
Because of course, they say, okay, well, if you want, 80 grand, what are you going to do with it? A restaurant. I'm not going to give you $80. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Because
they think it'll be closed in a year.
Well,
they won't get return on their investment.
Here's the thing: in the restaurant business, the failure rate is about 95% within the first year. Yeah.
Yeesh.
And it's always due to underfunding or too much overhead. There's places that I got friends who work down on the beach or in the Grove or in the Gables where their rent is $70,000 a month.
What the fuck?
I'll tell you guys here. I'm not
rent's ridiculous, man. That's
the
70,000.
Listen,
yes.
So I told you guys I was just looking for a real low key. I'll tell you guys my
luxury car a month.
No, my rent is $2,500 a month. That's an easy nut,
That's that's a good nut.
With that, your level of surviving is a lot easier. So if I wanted to make a profit and cover all my expenses, I only need to make $375 a day. My goal is to make $1,000 a day because I've done it before, so I know how to do it. But when you go into this type of business, the failure rate is so high. So if you take a loan out for $250,000, you don't even make a profit until you cover that.
Mm-hmm.
You might not turn a profit until your fourth year. And in that case, if you do it like that, you might not make it to year 4. Then what? Yeah. What about the people who opened up a restaurant in January and then COVID came in February? When we had the Super Bowl here in Miami, COVID was here.
Yep.
The Super Bowl that was here for COVID was a super spreader, but we just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about restaurants closed left and right, and as we was talking about earlier, I wouldn't know how to go back to working for somebody else. People who own restaurants for 10 years had to go work for somebody else.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, man. Man, you see Jennifer's comment?
Yeah.
David, I'm with my mom again. She says she wants to see it, and this is me saying it, wants to see you say moister than an oyster.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. Moister than an oyster. Oh, I'm not the moist guy. That's
that's Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
That's his. Yeah. I don't want to be a stand-in Jack Frost. I'm just gonna put that out there official. But there you go, Jennifer and Jennifer's mom.
Yeah.
There you go. I will read whatever.
So
I'll tell you, there's a guy that is an acquaintance of mine here in Pittsburgh, and he put himself together a little restaurant empire. And
that's the alcohol, Jennifer.
He got into a new place next door to his old place, and it was listed as a historic building.
Okay.
He needed to get a $2.4 million loan.
Ooh. Yikes. It's just
that's to recover the building and to stay within the historic district. And his nut, when I heard what his nut was a month to keep up just on the loan, I'm like, dude, I know where you are. You are not that is not a space where you're you may pull that your monthly nut may be $5,000 over just what you need to pay back the bank. That doesn't
That's
include
just the bank.
That's just the bank. That doesn't include everything else. Paying your staff, paying your food, paying just your basic day to day.
There's no way to win there. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're nuts.
And listen, and when I tell you, since I knew I was going to go this route, I've been buying equipment 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's still in the box.
Smart.
I got a submersion blender sitting 10 feet away from me, still in the box.
I believe that.
But it's one of the things is I own it. It's mine.
Right.
Yeah.
You own it.
Right. And the problem
bank doesn't
is,
own it. The bank, bank can't come and say, nope.
You didn't go into colossal debt to open up.
No, because
that's the killer.
So
that's
I had to think about,
I believe it.
Kids in college, your own roof over your head and the whole nine. $2.4 million loan. Do you know? I don't even want to phantom what the nut is on that. Listen, and not bragging, but I sell $350 in sauce every day. More. Just know that it's more than that. But when I start to open, I'm going to start with Saturday and Sunday, and then build the days from there. Build the clientele.
Yeah, so long as you're working off of your profit there, yeah.
Right, Billy. It's not Miami South Beach kind of monthly rent, but probably half of that. But in Pittsburgh, that's a fucking nut. Money. That's a fucking big nut. Because Pittsburgh is it's not Miami.
Could someone explain to me, because I'm ignorant as hell, that the nut reference, is that an acronym for something?
So
like, I'm kind of getting the context, but like, what does that actually mean?
You have a walnut or a chestnut, and you break it.
Yeah.
So in the restaurant industry, just in general, when they say you got to break that nut, meaning you got to have that much money to break that nut, as if you had to have that
nut, break even.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that break even nut.
Right. So, David, real quick, in the restaurant business, if you break even, you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
You're DOA. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you make it 9 months, breaking even, you'll be lucky. You'll be lucky if you make it 9 months. Because you got to remember, food costs always goes like this. Rarely does it go down.
Rarely.
And even if it does, your purveyor is not going to let it go down for you.
Nope.
They'll let it go down for them, but they're not going to let it go down for you. So you have to understand, with the exception of your first day, you should know what your business is going to be. That's why when I start out, I'm going to open on Saturdays and Sundays from like 11 to 4. Whatever happens, happens. If business picks up, I'll add a Friday, and then I'll add a Thursday, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, which I expect to happen. But I will never bite off more than I can chew. So besides the barbecue, I'm doing the private butcher work. I'm selling stuff to food truck guys. I'm selling stuff to, those lunch trucks that you see around construction sites.
Oh, yeah.
I'm selling sodas to them. So my reach is going to be different streams.
Gotcha.
So if I buy 1,000 cans of Coke product, I'll be able to turn those 1,000 cans over in 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Even if I don't sell a single stitch of barbecue, that in itself,
you've still got that.
And it's a product I don't have to fabricate.
You're diversified
to sell it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's all about diversification, man.
So for me, when we talk about bottles, that's why my budget is not going to really change. My budget has come down over the years. 3-4 years ago, my budget for, let's say, Stag Senior was probably somewhere between $800 and $1,000. I couldn't see myself paying $300 for Stag Senior right now, and which is fine. I may never get it, and I've made peace with that.
Yeah.
When I tell you I've made peace with it, I'm perfectly okay if I don't ever have a bottle of Stags,
Yep. Yeah, just come. You know, it's a lot cheaper. Just go to Jody's. You know.
Yeah,
It's just-
exactly. But yeah,
Get drunk with this asshole and let me drink all this shit.
So, I would
I won't
say
remember half of it and I'll get mad.
after year one, once I'm open, maybe then I'll do some splurging on some bottles, But believe me, as much of my game plan as I have, don't think I'm not scared, virgin on prom night scared. I am, because anything could happen. Anything could happen. It's one of those things where you just, you have to be careful. So, yeah,
David, when
Go
you
ahead,
think about and I love reading, and I follow a lot of blogs and a lot of people who are in the restaurant business and a lot of people who rally against the restaurant business. The average, and we're talking multi-billion-dollar corporations, right? And I get it. When you're talking a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you're at 3, 4, maybe 8% margin of what you're bringing into the bottom line. And when you're talking multi-billion-dollar corporations, you're not talking people who've got to pay out to investors who, on the investment side of things. If you're talking just a private entity, if you're bringing in 5 or 6%, end of the year, everybody gets everything. You do your donations, 5 or 6% at the end of the year, over a $500 million company.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking a lot of margin. Everyone's like, well, restaurants make so much money. No.
Yeah, the margins are tiny. Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's horrible. I was reading something about somebody was bitching about having to how much we tip, and it's one of those things, like in Pennsylvania, tipped server wage is $2.13 an hour minimum wage. I know a lot of tip servers who years ago working at the white tablecloth restaurants, who were pulling in between 90 and 120 a year just to be a server. I mean, these guys were getting tipped a crap ton of money, and they weren't claiming it all.
No, you'd be crazy too.
Right.
Yeah.
If restaurants, and like, well, why don't we just go with a tip service? Because you don't want to pay. People don't want to pay. If a restaurant were to charge you their base rate of a meal, and they were paying a server, let's just say an average rate of $15 an hour without tips. Let's say they're gonna put themselves out there. So no tip restaurant. You don't have to tip. We're gonna start our servers at 19, 18, 15, 19, whatever an hour.
Okay.
The cost of those menu items are going from, let's say, $29 for a rack of ribs and 2 sides to $39, $40, $45 for that. And people are going to turn around and go, oh my God, you're ripping us off. Well, no, you said you don't want to tip people. There's such a circular argument that can be made on both sides of as I just read all these debates. I'm like, but you won't pay that. I'm cool if you don't want to tip, but you don't want to pay the cost per meal for you to not tip. They don't want to do that.
I mean, I think the base rate for a server should be a little bit higher than $2 or whatever an hour, because you're thinking about. Don't think about the ones that make the most. Think about the average.
Right.
But like there's a spectrum here, right? It should be more than that, but maybe not so much. You got to raise the prices on an entree by $25 or whatever.
But here's the hardest thing for people to understand if you're not in the industry. For instance, I think it's California or New York, where fast food workers want $15 an hour.
California. No, California just did this. California went
pretty much everywhere now.
$20 an hour. State minimum is $20 an hour for a fast food job.
Right. So
McDonald's has got to charge $7.95 for a Big Mac though.
Or a Big Mac, absolutely.
$7.95. You can't. I'm a fat guy, right? I am not.
Well, there's the quotable moment of the
I'm
night.
a fat guy, right?
Hey, listen, if that's not a guy who loves himself, that I don't know what it is.
Sure.
2 Big Macs, a large fry, and a Coke in California are going to be $28.
Yes.
Hell,
So that they can pay.
I'll take the step sign and I'll be out $20 just to go through a drive-thru.
I'm not saying that minimum wage doesn't need to be raised. I don't want anybody out there to misconstrue. It needs to come up, and I think the national minimum is $7.25. It needs to come up from there. But I'm going to tell you, there's not a company I know of that is even close to paying it. The Dunkin' Donuts down the street from my camp is paying $19 an hour.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay competitive, if you are working a job that's only paying you the national, and in PA it's also $7.25, the minimum wage, you are definitely working for the wrong person in the wrong company, because you can walk down the street to, and Gino will know, a Sheetz, or if you get further in the West Coast, a Wawa, and those are gas station convenience stores, Buc-ee's kind of places.
Yeah.
Right. Buc-ee's would be the one to compare that. Those places are paying a minimum of $15 to $16 an hour.
A general manager for Buc-ee's makes like $120,000.
Oh yeah, they clear some cash because those places are.
Yeah, I still can't stand walking in.
Busy all the time too.
I think really lastly, what I don't think people understand, again, just like Rob, I don't care about the minimum wage going up, but you can't expect a teenager to be making $20 an hour flipping burgers and pay a kid out of trade school who's a welder or some tradesman and
a welder make good ass money,
right? But can you imagine a guy at McDonald's making more than a guy who's a welder?
Well, no, but that doesn't really happen. But yeah, I hear you, and I don't want to get political with this, but like the whole thing, I think just great. Just a comment. I think servers should be treated better as a whole. I always tip my servers well because I respect what they do.
Yes.
But that's all I'm going to say about that.
With you 100%, my friend.
Yeah. But we should probably actually call it a live show here. But yeah, which is cool because we're past time anyway. I've enjoyed this conversation. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
It's been fun. But yeah,
I needed this. Believe it, guys. Believe me.
We can hang out for a little while afterwards.
Yes, you did, Billy.
But yeah, man, it is good being back. It is good seeing y'all. I'm glad y'all are doing well. And just stay with us, and we're just gonna keep it coming. For you folks watching and commenting and stuff like that, I really appreciate y'all.
Don't be bashful. Comment.
Yeah, comment. I'll read. I read the moister than an oyster thing, and I've said it 3 times. Your
face is still going red.
Yeah, my face is still going. My pale ass face. You see just a tiny ass little bit of color in there. Look at that. Just a little bit of red, just a little on the cheek.
You need some color, David.
I need some bit of color. I need a good night's sleep. But anyway, much love to everyone. Drive like we know each other, and we'll see you next week. All right.
Be good to yourselves, boys, girls, everyone watching.
Cheers.
Yes.